know me, I'll let you know well in advance if we switch it. So with that, go ahead and welcome Cael. And Cael, you want an opening statement, or you just want him to have at you?
Yeah, have at me. That's fine.
All right, have at him.
Cael, has anything been determined at 25, 33, 41?
No weights have been set as of yet. We've had one round of inter squad matches last week, and we'll have another round soon. And then, as you know, the process continues until the end. So we're just, but things are looking good. The team's looking good.
Aren't you looking forward to getting it started?
I am, yeah. I think I speak for the whole team, our staff. Yeah, we're excited. This is what we love to do. The season is, you're busy year round, obviously, as a coach. But the season, this is what we love. Getting ready for the next match, trying to get ready for March. And we have some great home matches and some great on the road matches, and college wrestling is very competitive and exciting right now, and not that it probably has always been that way, but yeah, we're looking forward to getting going here and seeing where we're at.
At 141, what do you believe you have to do to win that spot and be your starter going forward?
Well, I think he's got to be a clear-cut choice on the best option, right? Jared Cortez is tough, has a lot of great experience. He's 100% healthy again, and so yeah, it's just going to depend on who we feel is gives us the best chance to score points there, and we feel confident that both of them have that ability. Obviously, though.
Is that a situation you'll kind of let play out throughout the year to see if you want to take the red shirt off of him, or?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll probably let it play out, and we're not in any hurry ever to to pull a red shirt, unless it's something that we have planned well in advance that we've seen in the past. But in a situation where you have a veteran like Jared Cortez and the ability and the potential he has, it's got to be a very clear idea. It's got to really make sense to do that.
Has he been performing at the level you thought he might?
Jared?
No.
Yeah. We haven't wrestled yet, but he's looking good in practice. I mean, he's a good kid, and he fits the mold of the kind of kids that we want representing Penn State. He wrestles hard, and conditioning will always be a factor for him. He's improved, I'd say, a great deal. Has a great attitude, fearless kind of a kid. Yeah, that's a lot of good things, right? I'm getting excited talking about him, but he's a great kid, and but he's a true freshman also, right? I mean, he was a senior in high school last year, so.
What have you seen so far from Court?
Well, Keener's looking good. He's had a lot of success at Central Michigan. I think he's a 3-time NCAA qualifier, right? And he's just a good, solid kid. Tough, real tough in the room. But again, we'll find out as the season plays along.
How is Cortez looking, and how's his health?
His health he's back. He's 100%. He's been, for several months now. And I think up at 141, he'll have less risk of injury, right? That's just kind of the nature of the beast. But he's fast and strong. He's tough on the mat, right? He's a good tough kid.
Couple guys at 125. What kind of describe what each of those guys bring to the table and what you're looking for there out of that battle?
Yeah, well, we have 3 freshmen, right? And they're just all scrappy kids, kids that wanted to come to Penn State. And yeah, we'll find out, as the dust settles, who our guy is at that weight class. But that'll be, I'm sure, exciting, for our fans to see who runs out there next Thursday.
What are your thoughts about being back in the Southern Scuffle and out of the national goals?
Well, they don't go. They're not. They don't go together really. The Southern Scuffle last year we chose not to go just because we had a quick turnaround and we had a lot of trips that were on the road, and we felt like it wasn't in the team's best interest. But we missed that tournament. It's a great tournament. It's a chance to see your team, in a format similar to the national tournament. Not quite, obviously, but as close as it gets. So we're excited to get back to the scuffle. And yeah, the national dual championship was canceled, right? So, but we had a great experience with that the last 2 years, and we were fortunate enough to be in the championship match, and so that helped. But the energy and the interest in those duels was second to none.
Cael, since you've had several years here where you've had guys that you could count on at that 125 weight class, and you always were used to going out at 125 from the beginning of the duels. Do you think you might change this year and work more towards the draw, or do you think you'll still stick with going at 125 at the beginning of the match?
Yeah, we'll stick with what we've always done, right? I mean, we have a roster of 10, and the way they compete at the Nationals, they start at the beginning and work their way up. So that's kind of been our philosophy there, right? The bouncing around, drawing weights, this and that. I mean, you see that a lot. Maybe a coach is trying to, do something and find an advantage. We don't want to go there or kind of play that game, and that's why we've just always just easier to just let's roll. Let's roll the way that the national tournament's going and the conference championship is going to roll. Well, I guess the national finals is changing now, so maybe that's not the best example to use. We'll have to maybe reconsider that. I don't know. We'll see.
Cael, Hall and Neville's will get an early start in the All-Star Classic this Sunday. From your side as a coach, what goes into that, knowing that those guys are okay to do something that early in the season and prepare for that? And does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it's early. Obviously, it doesn't count on your record. So it's just something that the kid has to be passionate about. Obviously, great matches. Both Mark and Nick have outstanding competition. So that being your first match of the year, you need to be ready to go. You need to be in good shape. Your weight needs to be in position to be at your best an hour after weigh-in. But it just comes down to making sure the kid's passionate about it, because it's a cool event. It has a lot of history to it. I don't really push our guys either way. If they want to do it, we'll support them. But it's not, if it counted on your record and maybe it was later in the season, all the reasons they changed it, I guess, then so maybe, I'm a minority on that thought process. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. There are a lot of great matchups. It's I think great fans are excited to see. I mean, you get to see Mark Hall and Zahid wrestle again in November 5th. I mean, those are two of the best kids in college wrestling, and obviously two returning All-Americans, at heavyweight. So yeah, it should be a fun event. Plus, it's a 4-hour drive from here, so that's convenient.
Cael, considering it's a contract year for you, high-profile transfer, can you kind of recap this offseason and how it might have differed for you compared to your previous offseasons?
Off seasons are always busy, and you don't know what to expect, and that's why when the season's rolling, it's kind of nice. We enjoy that. I'm home more in the when the season's rolling. People don't really understand that. They think, it's off season. What do you do for 6 months? And that's the off season is a busier time for us because we're all over the world, and you're recruiting, and you're also trying to train your team. We also have different age group level guys wrestling in different tournaments. But yeah, I don't think you're going to be busy, and if you want to be competitive in this business, you have to outwork people, right? You have to hustle and all the same things we tell our wrestlers. But yeah, we're excited to get things rolling here. It was we had a lot of fun last year, and the guys wrestled great. But the challenge to go have another great team is incredibly exciting for us.
Cael, what do you expect from Joseph after what he did at Incident Waves?
Well, I mean, that's going to be up to Joseph, right? But I think he's there's something. You win a national title, you're going to believe in yourself a little bit more, right? And you believe in yourself a little bit more, you're going to be a little bit more committed. You're going to fight a little bit harder, and when you do those little things, you're going to have more success, right? So, I think he's stepped his game up a level, but that's something that he's going to have to show, right? Great weight class, a lot of really competitive wrestlers in there, and but Vincenzo really came on strong at the end of the year last year. Had some great wins and looked phenomenal. I mean, you look at those guys all training together on a regular basis. It's quite an advantage for him, and he's taking advantage of it.
Cael, is there a guy or two who might have surprised you showing up a certain way or improvement?
Well, we have a pretty close eye on our guys throughout the summer, right? So it's not like they disappear. And, wrestling has a lot of different rules and safety exemptions. And so we see the majority of our team consistently throughout the summer. So nobody really stands out. But I think, that just like you guys are excited to get things rolling and to see who's gotten better, that I am as well. So.
What's the experience of going to Worlds for Zane and the process of training for that? How's that going to help him maybe take himself to another level?
Well, his goal is to be an Olympic champion, and I think he made a nice step and stride in that direction by making the world team, and I felt like he was definitely capable of winning a medal. Just it just didn't happen for him. So, but that experience will be valuable to him moving forward, and spending a summer with the United States Olympic coaches is very beneficial, obviously, and training with the team and being around them and the experience, all valuable. I mean, he's got to take that experience and let it, push him forward and motivate him. But I expect that to happen. But yeah.
Can you transfer the training from freestyle into folk style? Can one help the other?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of freestyle wrestling is on your feet, but a lot of it's controlling tie-ups and positioning and hand fighting. So more than ever, I think the transition is easier now, right? With the takedown being worth 2 points, and so there's more emphasis. If you get what you reward, right? If a takedown's worth 2, well, you're going to have more people looking and taking risks on their feet. So yeah, and scrambling's a little different because you can't expose your back, but the best guys in the world internationally, they still scramble. They just do it a little differently, right? So, and the rules have changed a little bit in college wrestling where you can't be on your back and still in a neutral position, right? So, I think that will certainly won't hurt our freestyle efforts as a country. But yeah, yep. Go ahead.
You brought up the scrambling. How much do you talk to the guys about the new rule, and does that affect them much, or how do you see it playing out?
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I like the idea of not being able to defend something on your back, right? That kind of goes against what wrestling is and what it means and stands for. It's got to be confusing, to somebody that doesn't have a background in wrestling, and it's a tough call for the officials, right? I'm on my back, but I'm still hanging on the leg. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm not upset by by them changing that rule. Hopefully, we probably need an open mind. It might need to be tweaked a little bit as we move forward. But our guys, I don't think generally speaking our team scrambles off their back. I mean, if they are, it's kind of out of a desperation situation. But we don't want our guys in that position in the first place. But it does open up a lot of scoring opportunities when you're trying to finish your shot, right? You don't necessarily have to finish as much as you can just put your opponent on their back now. And that's different. That is different, especially in the scrambling. So it'll be exciting. I think we'll see how it goes, but it should change things a little bit. I think what it does, wrestlers will always adapt to the rules, right? I mean, we think we've got the sport solved. Well, wrestlers are always going to find a way to stretch things as much as they can and make it work for them.
Cael, how difficult was the Soriano thing to go through?
I don't think it was. It just took a lot of time. I think time more than anything was lost, and that's probably the frustrating part. But those kind of things happen, and we're excited about moving forward, obviously, and who will step up at that weight class, and we'll go from there.
Is there anything to learn from that situation? I mean, having a first-year wrestler in that situation, is there things you take away from that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think it was just a unique situation. I don't think we're always trying to do a better job, but I don't think it's it's not anything personal for me with them or with them with us. I think it was just things changed, and there was some adversity there. You have a season-ending injury. It's a tough deal. So, but I don't think there's anything really that I'm very confident in our staff and our support staff, and if same thing happened again, we would treat it the same way again, but we're happy with the guys on our team that want to be here, and we moved forward a long time ago.
You think that injury was part of the thinking to not have the national duels, not continue with those?
I don't think so. No, I think people maybe speculate, but I mean, you could get hurt, walking to class, or so having an injury isn't enough of a reason to not do something, right? I think the reason the national duels fell out is just because there just wasn't the plan was changed. It wasn't held. It wasn't consistent with what was originally discussed, and teams are upset because other teams are picking and choosing who they're going to wrestle instead of just but again, it's coming back up, right? That's the proposals out there again to basically, it's kind of been the plan the whole time, I think, behind the scenes. So that's why I was outspoken and saying, hey, this isn't what we talked about. And because we knew that they were going to say, oh, it didn't work. All right, we got to go back to our change in the national tournament format. And that's what this new proposal is. It's the same thing, only different clothing, right? Sort of. So here we go again, right?
Cael, what are your thoughts on the proposal? Because it comes up with some pretty significant changes starting the season a little bit later. What are your thoughts after reading that proposal?
Well, a few thoughts. I mean, I think our national tournament is it's the greatest thing in the sport of wrestling in the world, right? There's nothing that even comes close to it. I think when you take the team championship out of that event, it changes drastically, right? And it's very exciting right now. Just look at the numbers. ESPN's their coverage it continues to expand. I think that gives you the evidence that it's working, right? So, to take that and to change it and take the team component out of our individual tournament and think that it's going to have the same interest, it's not, right? Because people are following the team race. There might be a kid from a team that's not necessarily competing for the team title, but they're wrestling against a team that is, and there's a lot of different exciting pieces that play into that, right? The other piece is that I don't buy into really is our kids always do better in class during the wrestling season. As soon as the wrestling season's over, that's when we have to start worrying about them academically, right? The more free time they have, they do poorer in class, and I think that's consistent. I mean, I think at least that's been the situation for us. I don't have the stats across the board, different sports, so I'm a little reluctant to say, well, if we give them more time to figure out class. I don't think that's what they're going to figure out. I think they're going to figure out the college social life probably more. That doesn't mean, there's always individuals, and if you're focused, you're going to get what you focus on, right? So, but I think generally speaking, that's not going to solve our APR issues as a sport.
Cael, Ed's going to fight here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Just curious, what has your relationship been like with him since he's taken this path a different way, and maybe how has your relationship with him changed, evolved over the years since he's been gone?
Well, I don't see him every day, right? I mean, I haven't actually seen Ed in quite a while. I saw him this morning. He was making weight. It was great to see him. Ed has been and always will be one of my all-time favorite kids. He's so much fun to coach. Just obviously an incredible talent, but just the way he worked and his work ethic was it was phenomenal. Where he was the guy that we had to get him out of the room. All right, Ed. We have a punching bag that still stands in our wrestling room because Ed brought it in and put it up. So MMA has always been a passion of his, and it's great to see him doing well. Right? It doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's incredibly fast. He's got really an unlimited gas tank. right? He's extremely competitive. You know, he kind of plays like cool, nothing bothers me, you know, Ed, but he is. You wouldn't do what he did in college wrestling if you weren't incredibly competitive. So I'm excited for him. You know, I know it was his passion. MMA's always been something that was very interesting and is what he was interested in. You know, he's a guy I was trying to get him to, hey, let's win a gold medal and then go into MMA, you know, because he had the ability to do that. Still has it, but I mean, he's and not a lot of wrestlers have the ability to win an Olympic gold medal. I thought Ed did, right? But he, you know, his drive and passion to get into MMA was very strong, and it's going to be fun to follow him as he pursues his goals.
I just wanted to follow up, I guess. Covering him all those years, he always kind of seemed like a guy who kind of marched to his own drum, you know, his personality. I guess, does he consult with you during that phase of his career? Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this? And is there any level of disappointment for you because of, you know, him not chasing that Olympic medal?
No, I think, you know, it has to be his goal, right? But yeah, that's one of the things I love about Ed is we had a very open and honest relationship. You know, we talk about anything. And, yeah, I knew that was his passion, right? And yeah, for me as a wrestling coach, yeah, I'd love to see him win, you know, a world and Olympic gold medal. But if your heart's not 100% set on winning a gold medal, it's probably not going to happen, right? And but he was making great strides in freestyle also. You know, he went from his first time he wrestled in the U.S. Open. I remember people were telling me, he just doesn't have the style to do well in freestyle. Then he made the world team the next year. So I mean, he had the ability, and he's so competitive that he has the ability to be the best wrestler in the world. And I mean, he's a 3-time national champion. His freshman year here, you know, his knee locks up at the national tournament, and it's just an incredible talent, great kid. I remember the first time I saw Ed. We didn't recruit him; he was already signed at Penn State. And I like to go in and kind of test the guys a little bit and wrestle them and see how long they'll wrestle me for, and you know, will they be competitive? Will they fight me back? You know, all in good fun, right? But he wrestled me. It had to have been an hour. And I'm thinking, all right, Ed, well, I better get home here because, you know, it's time for me to go. That was a few years ago. But he's a guy that just an incredible individual, incredible athlete, great stamina, and fearless, right? I mean, he'll do really well. Yes, sir.
Phil Davis joining
Yeah.
Ed here tomorrow night. What kind of homecoming do you think these guys are looking at, and how cool is it for the university to welcome back these decorated wrestlers?
Well, you're talking about not only two of the best wrestlers in Penn State history, but two of the most well-liked, right? I mean, everyone, I didn't have the opportunity to coach Phil, but, I mean, he's just a fan favorite. People love him, great big personality, you know, obviously an incredible competitor. They're both PA boys, right? So they're local boys, and both national champions. So, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. So it'll be exciting to see them and just see what kind of homecoming they do get. But I know they're both, if they were to come back to a wrestling match, you know, they both would be signing autographs for hours.
You look at some of the kids this year, you know, Lee, Manville, Clear, and guys like that. The next year's class that's already committed. Do you sit back and say, you know, this program is really going where we want it to go? It's always on an upward progression. Are you comfortable with where you're going so far?
Well, only time will tell, right? I mean, our job is to do the best that we can in guessing and trying to recruit the correct kids that fit our you know, our program and our culture, and then also getting kids that can win, right? So yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I think, you know, we're excited about the kids that are in the program now. You know, guys like Verclaren are doing very well, right? He's tough kid, and but we'll have another great group of kids coming in again, and the kids that really want to be successful are going to be successful.
Back to the national duels conflict, if you want to call it that. It seems like at the core of it is a dual meet versus individual, or dual meet versus individual tournament. But in your experience with the sport, your opinion, is there any other level other than high school wrestling that does, or high school and college wrestling that does dual meets right? I mean, when you start as a youth, it's individual tournaments. When you go to the international level, for the most part, it's individual tournaments. So I guess in your opinion, what's the essence of the sport? An individual tournament or a 10-on-10 dual meet that people can kind of manipulate lineups and forfeits and weight changes and that type of thing? What better fits in your mind?
Well, I think it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, wrestling's an individual sport, right? You compete as an individual, right? I mean, you could have 125 wrestle the national tournament in Utah, and 133 we're going to wrestle you in Colorado, and and then you could accumulate the points at the end and decide who wins the national tournament, right? So you compete as individuals, but it has that team aspect that that makes it just, I don't want to use the word fun, but it just makes it that much more fun, right? I mean, to go get the bonus points, right? And it's one thing to try to win a national championship as an individual, but if you're doing that and it's helping your team win a national championship at the same time, or helping your team go from 6th to 5th, I mean, that adds just a huge piece of excitement. And that's why when we think that we're going to change the tournament right now, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then to say that dual meets aren't important right now, that doesn't make any sense to me either, right? I mean, we saw last year, we wrestled in front of sold-out crowds pretty much everywhere we went, right? Ohio State had the largest crowd that they've ever had for a dual meet when we went in there. Oklahoma State, one of the most successful programs of any sport in all of NCAA, had the largest crowd they've ever had. So to say that what we're doing now is not working and we need to change things and it's all going to work out for the better, I'm a little skeptical, right? And I could, there's a lot of details that go into it, but the national tournament that we have right now and the timing of it, we found, a window that works for us where ESPN has us playing live, for multiple days, right? I mean, it's to just say we're going to move it back into April, and now it's risky, right? And it doesn't make sense to me. I think we're fighting the wrong battles, and really wrestling, maybe I shouldn't say this, I guess, but wrestling's boring. A lot of times wrestling's boring, right? Because we're winning 3-2 and points aren't being scored, and people aren't going to watch that, right? If you want people to come to your wrestling matches, you have to have a great product, right? I mean, any business in the world, you have to have a great product, right? We need to have a great product. We're constantly looking for the magic bean or silver bullet or whatever you want to say that's going to solve all of our problems. Well, we have to solve our own problems, and make sure that we have a great product. That's how I feel, anyways.
Okay, when you talk about having this great product, and we talk about the team, how important is it to be the preseason #1 and the challenges that lie ahead for you as the coach to maintain that top spot?
Well, being ranked #1, I mean, I guess it's good, right? We'd rather be ranked 1 than 2, or maybe it doesn't really matter to us. I really don't care how we're ranked. We want to finish well, right? We want to finish great. And we live in especially in the sporting world, everyone seems to want to be the underdog, right? Well, we don't want to be the underdog, right? We want to have that expectation, right? That's I think it's a more difficult position to be in, and it's what you want, right? It's easy to be an underdog because that means based on your history, your expectations are low. Well, based on our history, we want high expectations, right? It's a different challenge, and it's more exciting. If we're the underdog, we'll embrace that. If we're expected to win, well, we'll embrace that also.
Yeah, how much do you look back on the NCAA?
Not a whole lot. I think last year was a year that we'll remember forever. And as a coach, many years down the road when I'm done, we want to have better teams. We want to do better than that, right? I mean, but it was pretty awesome. That was a pretty special night. I mean, our guys wrestled great, right? Our backs were against the wall a little bit going into the tournament. And we said in the press conference, we're sitting here like this, and the team that wins is the team the team that's going to win is the team that wrestles great, right? And our kids wrestled great, and they it was a special time, right? But this year is a completely different year, different team, different challenges, and that's what makes college sports exciting. That's what makes our job as coaches exciting. You know, you don't know what your challenges and are going to be.
How comforting is to have 5 national champions back?
That's a good thing, right? We're happy about that. And more than that, it's just the kids and the personalities that they have, the love of competition, right? I mean, they were wrestling for each other out there, right? I mean, you saw that. They wanted to win for each other. And they got a little bit more out of their individual efforts because they were thinking less about themselves, I think, right? And so having individuals like that, it's more special, right? And they're all back. Those guys are back. So that's something that we're very happy about and grateful for.
Cael, you always mention the word fun. Your wrestlers always, when they're interviewed, talk about the word fun. How do you get to the expectations that you're trying to get to in a workshop sport and diversified enough to make it fun?
Well, I guess I don't understand why other people don't enjoy wrestling more. I mean, I love wrestling. I love the sport. I love what it takes to be successful. Yeah, I think our kids love that too. And when you focus on, you get what you focus on, right? And it's just kind of that mentality that you have. It's that attitude of gratitude, right? It's, you know, the world is not against you, right? The world really doesn't care, right? But if you kind of go with the attitude, those different choices that you have of, it determines just the way you feel and think. And, you know, we want our guys to be happy. You know, we want them to enjoy the opportunity and to be grateful for the opportunity. You know, and if they're happy, they're going to compete well. You know, wrestling's a tough sport. It's very demanding, but, you know, I look at that as that's a great thing, right? It's a great thing. It's not something to, you know, that we have to be miserable because it's a tough sport, right? I mean, yeah, it's a tough sport, but that's what makes it so great.
Cael, obviously, you know, there might be a stupid question to ask, but how do you build upon what you guys did last year with the 5 champions? I mean, yeah, the simple answer would probably be, you know, have 6 of them. But, you know, I mean, how exactly do you guys build off of what you did, what you accomplished last year that hasn't been done in, you know, 20 years?
Well, I think the goal every year is just to be the best team that we can be, right? And the goal for each individual has to be the best individual they can be, right? And so that's the goal, right? We're not trying to be better than we were last year. We're trying to be the best that we can be right now, right? And there's some great competition, and that's exciting for us. We love that. You know, you want great competition. That makes the sport bigger. It makes it more intriguing, more exciting. There's great competition individually and great competition team-wise. So it won't take much, you know, to be motivated, right? And people are motivated by challenges, right? Not by an easy path, right? I mean, we're designed by nature to, you know, to have adversity. That's why we're here, right? So we embrace it. We love it. And, you know, I mean, it's a lot more fun when you look back on adversity, right? But, you know, we all want to tell the story of, you know, how tough it was for us to overcome whatever obstacles we did to reach our goals, right? I'm talking a little bit too much, but yeah, we're excited about it. I mean, there's no reason, you know, why we wouldn't be just thrilled, and we're excited to see where we're at. You know, we've got some new faces, and kids don't always repeat, right? I mean, they don't always. You see a kid that's a freshman or sophomore, and they look like they won't get touched competitively ever again, and they have a different mindset the next year, right? That's very common. So just because we had 5 guys win last year, that doesn't mean it's easier for any of those guys to win this year, right? It's a new set of challenges for each guy, containing or maintaining the same mindset and the same hungry, let's be aggressive, let's be clear on what we want, and then living it. It's easy to say it, a little more of a challenge to do it, but, you know, that's what makes it exciting.
Given your late season, attractive late season schedule, did you consider 2 Jordan Center matches this year?
We didn't. When we did that a few years ago, and it was a little bit too much of a push. We haven't really considered doing 2 again, but maybe we should. I don't know if it's too late.
I'll check.
No. But yeah, we're happy. I mean, we love Rec Hall. You know, it's nice to get over to the Jordan Center and let everyone have a chance that really wants to come to a match, right? Because if you really want to go to a Penn State wrestling match, don't wait until the week before the Iowa duel and try to get a ticket, right? You get a ticket right now, unless it's already sold out. I haven't followed this year. Could be. It's probably close. Yeah. Is it sold out? All right, so if you wanted a ticket, you got to, right? You got to be on the ball, right? But everybody has a chance to get a ticket, right? There's hours and there's a couple of days there, and that's what we want. We want, that was the whole purpose of the Jordan Center. But we wrestle in Rec Hall. I mean, this is our home right now.
February 3rd, Ohio State. I mean, it's a date that everyone in wrestling has circled right now. They've had some off-season guys come in, Joey McKenna. They're a different team. Is that something that you're looking forward to just as a competitor, as a coach, to go against the best, like Ohio State?
Yeah, I think so. I think, the better the competition. If you're a real competitor, the more excited you are. And absolutely. That's just the first of several meetings, though, right? I mean, there's a lot of great teams. Iowa will have a great team. Minnesota will have a great team. Lehigh has a great team, right? We see them earlier. And we're not a team where we focus on any individuals or, for us, it's not about competing with any other team. It's, again, like I said before, it's about us figuring out and being the best we can be, right? That's what we're going to focus on as a team, and we're going to be excited about doing that.
Cael, you talk about the growth of the sport and how ESPN's coverage has gone bigger for the national tournament. You got other programs around the country that are gearing towards, for instance, you guys are going to wrestle Lehigh in a hockey arena. You're going to, there's Rutgers that are wrestling in, like, I think Yankee Stadium or something or other. So, just how much of that growth do you feel is, drawing the schools to look for bigger venues to get into?
Well, I think, numbers don't lie, right? That's what I refer back to all the time. Let's look at the numbers, and the numbers are increasing. The dual meet attendance is increasing, right? And for me, it's not about necessarily having one big match a year, right? Because when I was at Iowa State, our goal was to increase the attendance for all of our dual meets, and we had to leverage our one big duel to try to do that. Where we don't want to be a sport that, we have one big event here and one big event there. We need consistency across the board, where we want our fans coming to all of our matches, right? And I think that's got to be the goal as a sport. But having big time matches and huge crowds, the football game deal. I mean, we've talked a little bit about that. Awesome thing. But more importantly, we need consistent crowds and fan bases across the nation, and those are the numbers that I would be looking for.
Got time for two more? Cael, Markel more than lived up to his high expectations last year. But he looked a little undersized at 65, especially when he was going against Valencia. Has he bulked up? And the second part to the question is, despite his immense talents, what do you think he has to do to be even better than what he is now?
Well, Mark's bigger than he looks, right? I mean, people carry their weight a little bit differently, but he is bigger and stronger than he was last year. Does that mean he's not a guy that's probably ever going to look like the biggest, largest kid in his weight class? That's just not his body type. But he's very strong and powerful. And Mark did a fantastic job. We pulled him out in a tough situation, and he ended up winning the Nationals as a true freshman. That's pretty remarkable. So it just gives you an idea of his competitiveness, his abilities, but for him to continue to improve, he has to stay hungry, right? And he has lofty goals, right? He wants to win senior level world and Olympic gold medals, and to do that, he's got to keep improving, and he knows that. So,
Casey Cunningham, obviously he's a great assistant. I would assume that he's had a number of offers to go elsewhere. What is his status? Is he happy staying here? I know you're not inside his mind, but you're as close to him as anybody.
Yeah, I love Casey Cunningham. Like a brother, right? I mean, same obviously with my brother Cody. I mean, we're all very, we're close, and they both have had a lot of opportunities to go coach at other schools, and they could probably make a lot more money, right? Go be a head coach somewhere, and I'm just grateful that they're continue to stick with us here at Penn State, and I know the kids are. I think that's something that separates us that gives us an advantage over some of our competition is just how great and consistent and that our coaching staff is, right? But yeah, they don't get better than the guys that we have here. Coach Cody, Coach Casey, even Jake Varner could go coach anywhere that he wants, right? So yeah, they're the best of the best, and we work very closely together, and I'm the one that has to sit here. That's probably why Casey hasn't taken another job, because he doesn't want to have to do the press conferences, right?
Good point. All right, folks, we're gonna have to let Cael go. Thanks, Cael.
Yep, thanks.
So if everyone wants to grab your stuff, we'll take a few minutes here, and then we'll all head down to the Lorenzo complex.
I have heard that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
See that red light still on there?
Maybe you're a special type of
Yeah.
Good. How are ya? Excited back for the season?
Instead of putting my paperwork up here, I can find it. So I'll see what I have.
So many people.
Maybe something on the
Yeah. I usually write it out ahead of time.
But, no, it looks very natural.
Thank
Very
you.
good. I
I
enjoyed it.
appreciate it.
and that's one of the things I really like about the name for the fall, but I've kind of transcribed what we got.
So hard to believe.
Yeah.
Don't tell you how good it is.
We'll be there. So,
Yeah. Same deal.
we've got a better parking place than everybody. I was here 7:34.
Eric, he's playing with his mouse over there. He got that fur bunny.
Fur bunny.